Ah,
Right.
we're here.
Wow, we're live. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is
So
the Shelf This Book Club. It's Bailey's book club, but today and in May, I was the host or the co-host, I'm sorry. And my pick was Where Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis. I don't have the dust jacket, but Bailey does. Um,
it's beautiful.
it's the most gorgeous cover I've ever seen. I love it.
It is
Um,
pretty.
But Bailey, would you like to go ahead and describe this book for us?
Sure, yeah. And I always don't like, well, I shouldn't say I don't like. I always think it's weird to describe this as my book club because it's just something that every month I tell someone, "Hey, can you pick a book?" and then I
Yeah.
actually don't do it. I make somebody else do it. But Where Dreams Descend. First, I want to ask, well, you're the one who did this, but anyone in the comments, I don't know if anyone's here yet considering we just started. If this was on your radar before Kayla picked this book or not, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But basically what this is about is it's like a magician's competition. So this
Hmm.
girl decides to like enter into this magical competition. And I feel like that's basically the whole thing.
Yeah, like I've heard
Like it's a
so
YA.
Mhm. I've heard that so people that have talked about this book before reading it have always said it's Moulin Rouge meets The Greatest Showman. And that's always what
Okay.
I've thought of. Is that how I perceived it? I don't know yet, but for other people that's how they kind of describe the book to kind of get people interested in it.
Um, what's Moulin Rouge?
Did you say what's Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It is a movie from the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and it's Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. And
Okay.
Nicole Kidman is like a burlesque type dancer thing,
Okay.
and he is trying to, what is the movie? He's basically trying to start like a theater troupe kind of, and she mistakes him for a rich man, and they're
Okay. And he's
singing
not.
and yeah,
Okay,
it's
but
just a musical.
I am familiar with The Greatest Showman
Uh-huh.
because Zac Efron in anything, I'm there.
Same. Okay.
Like Zac
So
Efron in musicals, top tier for me.
I listen to the Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman song from that movie almost every day. It's my favorite.
Self-care.
It's truly self care. Okay, so so we described the book.
Yeah, it's a
Do,
magical competition.
do we have anything else
Have
to
you read
say?
anything like this? Have you read anything like this before?
The closest thing that I could compare it to is Caraval,
And have you read
and
that?
yes, and I loved it.
Okay.
I love that series. It's one of my favorites. So
Okay.
that would be the closest thing that I could compare it to from what I've read. Have you read anything like this?
I have Caraval because Stasia is going to be doing a read along, so I bought it.
Ooh.
So I think I might be happy that I read this one first.
Okay.
We'll see. How similar do you think they are?
I think it's just how I would compare them is a magical element, and then I feel like the writing is kind of similar in being like a um whimsical type, like mysterious aspect. The
Okay.
overall story is completely different, but
Okay.
like the magical
Is
lyrical idea.
is that one a competition?
No, Caraval is like a circus troupe comes to different locations, and then the main girl wants to go, and then in the circus, he has a game that you play, and she wants to.
Oh,
So it's kind
okay.
of like a competition, but
Like
not.
interactive?
They're not magic. Like the main character
Okay.
doesn't have any magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I will be getting to that. And I'll just say that outside of this, I probably never would have picked this book up.
Okay,
So I'm glad I did.
that's
Like
good.
that's the point to me. That's the point of having other people pick other genres that I don't usually read. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the fun part.
because I there were a few people that I
Okay.
didn't have this on their radar.
Yeah, I don't remember. I always look like whenever the host tells me what book they're gonna pick, look to see if anyone's rated it or read it already.
Mhm.
And you can see if people have it on their to be read pile. And I think a couple people did have this shelved already, but not read.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, hi, Ashley.
Hey,
Hi, Ashley.
we're like, get ready.
Yes, we've described the book. We've talked about how this is compared to Caraval. And I think we're getting ready to share what we rated it.
Yes.
Awesome. I tried your pile rating system, so I have like multiple.
Oh, we should compare. After we say our final rating, we should compare.
I love it.
What, like 1 to 10 we give. Okay. Do you use that at all, Kayla?
I
Call
want
pile?
to. I'm just lazy and don't use the spreadsheet. I would forget about it, but I want to. I find it interesting.
Okay, fair. I like the spreadsheet. Okay. Who do you want to share the rating first?
I would love to hear Ashley's rating first because her and I kind of had a conversation about this yesterday, and I'm very intrigued.
Okay.
So we were actually talking about how basically everyone gave this book 3 stars that we knew almost. And I was like, I really hope that I can give it more than that, but I did only give it 3 stars.
Okay. So Bailey, what did you rate it?
I gave it 2 stars.
That's
Which is
the tea.
basically, that is the same rating I have rated every single book we've read for book club.
Oh no!
Wow.
2 stars.
Even The Handmaid's Tale?
Oh yeah, I remember you did not really like that at all.
I am gonna have a fun.
And I read this twice. I don't think I mentioned that yet.
Oh yeah.
I read this twice. I physically read it and then I listened to the audiobook. And that's partly why I rated it so low, is because I read it physically the first time and was so confused that I had to read it again.
Now Kayla has.
So I think if I probably would have just listened to the audiobook to start, I probably would have given it 3.
I did not like Darren's voice in the audiobook. I don't know what accent they were going for, but I was like,
Okay, so I also rated it 3 stars. It was sitting probably from like the 150 mark to the end. It was sitting at a 3-star, and I was hoping that somewhere it would switch and be a 4-star.
I feel so bad because I love the author, and I was like, this is gonna be a 5-star.
I forgot you said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Stasia said, I had it on my radar because of it being compared to Caraval, but I wasn't rushing to pick it up.
It really didn't remind me of Caraval almost at all, except for like the Legend versus Jack kind of comparison.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, Stasia also gave it 3 stars. We're 3-star, 2-star gang.
3-star club.
Okay. Bailey, I'm determined to break your 2-star
I'm
streak.
hopeful. I'm actually hopeful for all 3 of the next ones.
Do we know?
But I say that every time. What'd you say?
Are any of them released yet?
Or
Like
any of
all?
what released? The
Like
next
the
book?
next titles, like as like publicly released. Okay,
Yeah.
I need to go look then.
I also give it 2
I
stars.
have the next one with me. I'll talk about it later.
Okay. I also give it 2 stars. It was originally on my TBR, and then I decided I wouldn't like it, so I took it off my TBR. Then I read it for this, and I kind of already knew I wasn't going to love it. Okay. That's okay. I DNF'd. It was a...
I'm proud of you for DNFing.
Yes, I'm proud of you too. I honestly, the first like 200 pages, I probably, if this wasn't for this book club, I honestly would have DNF'd it too.
I will say I've only
Interesting.
DNF'd 1 or 2 books in my life, but I did want to DNF this book. So
Really? I think that's so interesting because I DNF so easy.
yeah,
And this one, I never was like, oh, I really wish I could put this down. I wish I didn't have to finish it. Which the book I picked myself. Are you okay?
yeah. Well, sorry. I thought it was a spider. We're good. I'm sorry.
The book I picked for when I picked, I wanted to DNF, and this I didn't.
Mm-hmm. So Stasia said, I also don't get much of a comparison to Caraval, honestly. I feel like it also made my rating lower because obviously Caraval gave me higher expectations since it's my fave. I agree. I think, because I've heard people mention it, like compare it to Caraval, but once I got into it, I was like, not totally sold on that. And I think because I also love Caraval, that's why I
Yeah.
made it lower.
I just think all magician stuff is always going to get compared to each other.
Yeah.
It could be completely different plot, but it's always going to be like comparable. Because people compare it to the Night Circus too, because that's kind of the same.
So
It's magic.
are either of you or any of the viewers really into Phantom of the Opera who can tell me, because she said it was inspired as well by Phantom of the Opera, and I'm just curious, did you guys pick up on that?
I'm not familiar.
Okay.
But I did see that this was shelved as a retelling.
Okay.
Oh.
So
I am kind of familiar with Phantom of the Opera, but not a lot. But now that you've said it, I feel like I could generally find.
is Jack
Like a
supposed to
vibe?
be, like the mask dude in the basement or whatever?
I feel like, see, I was thinking it was the other guy.
Tomorrow
Because of a spoiler that I don't know if we're ready to talk about.
at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Let's talk about a couple non-spoiler things
Yes.
before we get into spoilers. Because I think just in general, I wanted to talk about just like what didn't work for me in this book and why I rated it so low.
Yes,
Which I think would come a lot into our Cawpile ratings here, is I basically rated the characters of this book like a 1 out of 10. Like, I felt no connection to the characters. Like, I felt so disconnected the whole time. I felt no connection to the characters. I do think that the idea of, like, the competition was good and the most interesting part of it. Like, it actually followed a competition. I feel like a lot of stuff is pitched as a competition, and then so much other stuff is happening that the competition isn't, like, in the forefront. So I think that part did work for me, but it was, like, everything was so... The characters I didn't care about, so I didn't care about how they were interacting with each other. I couldn't differentiate anybody. I was so confused.
I only had one character that I actually, like, really enjoyed, and it was her assistant. I forget his name.
Everyone says that.
Like, they were the only ones.
Aris
It started with an A. Yeah.
What's his name?
It's like Aaros or something.
Yeah.
So I will say I gave the characters 5 because I liked Aros as well. I didn't for the first part of the book because I felt like how he just immediately came into the book seemed weird.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a very like distinct personality that I felt like most of the other characters didn't. And I think that's what was hardest for me is that I felt like all of these characters had potential. I felt like there was chemistry, but like I just didn't care what happened to any of them.
So I didn't care about the characters at all. So
I didn't.
I also didn't.
I couldn't like really understand what Jack's character was.
Yes, I'm still confused.
Yes. Like, who? I mean, I feel like it could get explained in the next book, but like, who are you? Like, I mean, it did get
Is
kind of
anyone planning on reading the second book?
I probably will, just because I'm curious.
If I gave it 3 stars, so I have to. I'm gonna request the arc.
That's a rule you made for yourself.
I know. I limit myself, and then I'm like, oh no.
You can't get to everything, Ashley.
Watch me.
I probably won't continue.
Okay.
That's valid.
I think like the reason why I want to continue is this book was so hyped for me. And it was like, I was so excited to get to it. I bought it like last October. It did fall flat, yes. But I think part of my soul is like, I feel a need to.
You wanted it to be good so bad.
Yeah,
like it has to get better. Because this is her debut, correct?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
We're here for that.
Agreed.
Okay, here's what Sage said.
Where was this hype for you?
What?
Like, what did you see somebody review this? Like, how was this brought to your attention as to why it was hyped for you?
Olivia Reads a Latte read it, and this is one of her favorite books. And then I think I also saw it from Boston over at Boston Reads Books. So I think they got it first. They like got like arcs of it and reviewed it, and so I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I felt like the author really wanted to have a mysterious element with Jack, but it just didn't work for me. I agree.
He gave me kind of like misunderstood villain vibes. but I couldn't tell if the author wanted us to see him as like the villain / abuser or like the secret non.
Mhm.
Right. I also think this was pretty long. Like, it was a pretty long book, but it definitely could have used more intro. Like, more
Yes.
before she went to the competition.
Agreed.
Does she
This
ever?
could have been 2 books.
Oh yeah. Does the author ever? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention in the beginning. Does the author ever like describe the way any of the characters look?
I know she referred to Kalia as a brown girl because
Okay.
Okay, I thought of that too when I finished.
Because
Which I think, again, the characterization, like, I was not picturing anything.
yeah,
Like, I wasn't picking up on it. And that makes stuff so hard to follow.
I know
Couldn't tell you what Jack looked like. Couldn't tell you what DeMarco looks like. I don't know.
Canary had red hair, and
Who did?
Canary, one of the like circus performers, and then
Okay.
I think they told us Kalia had dark hair, but
Okay.
besides that, in my head Jack looks
The
like
fact that you can remember.
I love it.
Okay. Should we get into some spoilers if we want now?
Yes, I'm ready.
If we wish. Okay. You had something on the top of your mind that you wanted to say?
I had no idea what the hell was going on for a lot of the book. And I felt like nothing was really explained. I mean, it was, but like I needed more. Like I felt like I didn't get a lot of description on stuff. And I was like, really a lot of the time I was like, what is the point here? Like, what are we trying to do? And then my biggest thing, and I was telling my brother this morning, I wanted to see everyone else perform too.
Yes.
Like I wanted
I
to see
agree.
the whole competition. And then I feel
That goes back to this being so long, yet like there's so much missing.
I gave Atmosphere 4 because I felt like it had an intriguing setup, but you can't say that this character is better than all of the other contestants and not show us that she's better than all of the other contestants.
Yes. Because I wanted to bring up too, she is presented as the best and like this huge threat. She's like one of the best people in the competition, but something goes wrong in all of her performances.
Very good.
So there's no proof here. Why is she the best?
Yeah.
Why is she the only female? Why were these people turned away, but she can do it? Like, she felt like the chosen one who had no, like why her?
Yeah.
That's
Like, she hadn't proved herself.
Those were generally my like disagreements with the book, because like in this comment where Stasia said, I feel like nothing was explained, random things were just dropped with no backstory or explanation, so I was just always confused. Exactly, like that's how I felt the entire time. Agree, the competition should have showed more of the other contestants because it isn't a one-person competition. Exactly.
I agree. Like, what comes to my mind is like in Throne of Glass, if you guys have read that first book is very much like a competition based. They show a lot of the competition.
Yeah.
Like your Throne of Glass, Hunger Games, where you're getting a competition, but you see everyone, even though you follow one main person. This book did bad, yeah.
Yeah.
There's too much emphasis on some things and then almost nothing on others that seemed really important. It was just really confusing and vague. Yeah.
I like what Bailey said, because I'm thinking like in the Hunger Games, how we grew to care about like Finnick and all of the other characters. It would have been a lot more heartbreaking when the spoilers we'll talk about later happen if we knew.
You can talk about them if you want.
Yeah. Go ahead, Donna.
So like when bad things happen to the other contestants, I feel like it would have been compelling if we cared about them.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think even in that story, everything you're learning about the other characters is still through your main character's point of view.
Yeah.
Because there was a
follow you're not in their head.
Yeah, because there was a part at some point that she was like something happened. It was one of the people that went missing or something, and she was like, "Oh, I think their name was this. I think that was
Right.
this." Well, you're
And
in a
then we're supposed to
competition.
care.
Yeah, like I don't. Who get like whatever? Like the judges
You don't know
care,
their name.
so
I'm
I
not going to
shouldn't
know their
care.
name.
Exactly.
I'm curious what you guys thought about the relationship.
I was waiting. It started so late. I thought it was going to happen so much sooner, and I didn't like it. And then when they started like kissing, I was like, I kind of like this. And then I was just like neutral.
I seriously, when they kissed, I was like, wait, that's what this was doing?
I thought that the like slow burn was very interesting, and I especially like how it came to an ending where you're like, wait, was this wrong all along? I don't know. I liked it. That was like the only one of the very few parts of the book I was into.
I like this at the end. You never see anyone besides DeMarco. Like you don't. Like I don't.
There's like 3 characters that you see in
Basically.
this however many contestant competition. There's 3 characters in the whole book.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just digging into this book.
I
and
know.
feel
I always do that.
What does the W mean in Caw Pile? Because I gave that writing.
Writing.
Okay, I gave that
I gave that pretty low. A 9?
I actually really enjoyed the writing style. I think
like the disconnect I felt means that the writing was not good. Know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe I'm not rating it correctly. Like I'm
trying to look.
I couldn't find a description of what, like I knew what the words were, but to me the writing was like, I thought the witty band.
I gave the writing a 2.
Was interesting, and like when she did write scenes, I found the writing pleasant. I
do think it was like pretty. Like it was like you felt like the magical vibes. Like it was kind of whimsical.
Yeah, and I was reading
but the development.
A couple of other books I was reading at the same time were kind of like, they weren't supposed to be middle grade level, but that's the vibe I was getting. So seeing like larger words used, I guess, or like more synonyms, it made me feel happier.
There was another. I can agree. I feel like based on what both of you have said, if I was doing Caw Pile and I was doing the W, I would probably put it in between what you guys have both said, because part of it is like there was such that disconnect in the writing that I was like, I don't know what's going on. But the parts that I did like, I enjoyed the writing a lot. So like there were different like descriptions of her magic performances and different descriptions of like random other things I really enjoyed. But as a whole, I didn't. I was not into it.
And
I think my rating as a whole is affected by the fact that I had to read it twice.
That's
fair. If I would have just listened to the audiobook, I think there's a couple categories that would have been 1 or 2 points higher and it could have maybe pulled a 3. But I just couldn't do it because if I rated it based on when I finished it the first time, it probably would have been like a 1 star. Like I knew then that it wasn't because I disliked it. I knew it was, I just didn't absorb it like I should have.
That's fine.
So what are our other Caw Pile scores? Because that wasn't was that everything?
So it's characters, atmosphere, writing.
Okay.
Well, no, is it the plot?
Plot,
maybe. L. It's not love. It's logic.
Logic. That's right.
Logic and yeah.
Okay. So what were y'all's overall Caw Pile scores? Because I know like we have a 2 and a 3 for out of 5, but what do we have out of 10?
So right. So out of 10, mine was a 3.29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5.
Like that's a pretty middle 2-star.
Mm-hmm. And you said yours was 5.5?
5.7. So it wasn't enough to make 3.5 stars, but it was a solid 3, I guess.
Okay.
Like, that would probably technically be like a 2.5.
Oh.
But it gets put as a 2, you know?
Fair. Let's see. I'm just reading the
Okay.
comments.
Does anybody have any other? How do we feel about the ending? Did the ending do anything for us?
It was wild.
It was wild.
Like, it did end. Like, there was something happened.
There was an ending at some
There-
point.
No, but I hate reading a book that long. Like, when we read In the Woods,
Mhm.
like, that straight up doesn't end. And I was like, I just wait. Like, it's so long. I wasted so much time. So this, I think, at least, you know, it was a long book. It took us somewhere. It's doing what it wants to do to get you to read the second one.
And this is only a duology, right?
I think so.
I did not know that. So
I think it's interesting how the ending and the epilogue seems to really set up the plot for the sequel.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm curious. But like I gave Intrigue 4, and I would say that was only boosted. It was like 1 for most of the time, and then like a 7 just for the ending. Because I was just like, I want to know where this goes. Like the 4 families was the main thing I was interested in, and they like didn't talk about that at all until the end. So yeah.
I love how much Bailey's ripping this book. It didn't.
It ended for me because I'm not going to continue.
Okay.
So it's over.
Was there really an ending though? Because it literally nothing was explained still.
That's what I
Exactly.
know.
Wait, what actually?
But I
No,
feel like the
I'm agreeing with
competition's
you, Jack.
over.
The competition is now I don't remember the ending.
I don't think the second book's going to be a competition.
Do I spoil the ending?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Okay.
read it, but
So basically, there's the mirrors, right? And then she takes Jack into the mirrors after Jack reveals to the mayor that he's one of the 4 families. I don't remember which like suit or whatever.
Right.
But like we learned about those families, and there was foreshadowing, and there was intrigue for the whole book just to find out that he's a descendant of one of them, and then he falls into a mirror world.
yeah.
I thought that was going to be a huge deal. I thought Darren would be one of the families. I thought Kalia was going to be the like fire family, and then they were all going to
They
like.
probably are.
Oh.
Like, that probably is what's happening.
The ending was the only thing I really enjoyed, but with the mirror, I had to go back because I didn't know what the characters looked like and I couldn't picture it, so it was anticlimactic. I agree. The 4 families was a useless element, was only mentioned when the author needed something to throw.
I agree with that.
Okay, technically the competition didn't
Oh.
end, yeah, because no one was a winner.
No, but I don't think we're going to jump back to the competition. Do you?
It's probably like
Right.
it'll probably be mentioned in the beginning of the book, like
Did they just? But why would we even care if we don't know the other competitors?
exactly. So that's what I'm saying,
Right.
like, because it was, I have 1, 2, 3. It was like 6 or 7 people died or went missing, right? That meant there was only 3 left. So
If the second book is literally
Oh.
the 3 people competing,
Can I read the 2 paragraphs about the second book?
yes, I would love to.
sure.
It says the competition has come to a disastrous end. Oh, wait, we're live.
Good to see you.
That wasn't alcohol. It's fine. The competition has come to a disastrous end, and Darren DeMarco's fall from grace is now front page news. But little matters to him beyond Kalia, the contestant he fell for, who is now lost to this world and in the hands of a dangerous magician. Darren is willing to do whatever it takes to find her, even if it means embarking on a dark and treacherous journey, risking more than just his life with no promise of return. After awakening in darkness, Kalia has never felt more lost, especially with Jack by her side, the magician with who has the answers but cannot be trusted. Together they must navigate a dazzling world where mirrors show memories and illusions shadow every corner, one ruled by a powerful game master who could all too easily destroy the world she left behind and the boys she can't seem to forget. With time running out, Kalia must embrace her role in a darker destiny or lose everyone she loves forever. I'm actually not that intrigued.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm going to end up reading it. But my mind, I feel like from what you read, my mind is hyping it up more because the idea of there being like a mirror world is very interesting, but I'm scared that it's not even gonna go there.
Like this didn't go there, so it's like my faith has been knocked down a notch.
It's like the mirror world in the last season of Flash that was literally so boring. So
because I feel like the second one is going to be where the book really starts. That's what I was telling my brother this morning. Like, I feel like this is just like an intro to something bigger and better.
I don't think I would continue this series, but I think I would try this author again.
That was a ghost, Ashley. That was a ghost. I watched a ghost happen in your house.
It was the spider.
It was really a bug that fell out of my hair. Okay. I tried to be cool.
Yeah, where do they even go? Nothing was explained. No more talking
off our live stream. She's like, bye.
Like, I'm done. No more of this. I feel so bad. I wanted this to be a 5-star for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, now this man is going to jump into a mirror and find her. So this author's going to create a whole new world again. That's what I was thinking the whole time you were reading it.
Like it was it's going to be where they're coming together through the whole story, and at the end they're going to find each other. Like that's literally what it's going to be.
Okay, if the ending is not them going on a yacht and leaving the rest of this stupid world behind, I don't care.
So when you get a copy of the second book,
have you read
I'm going to add pages at the end where I've handwritten that scene for you.
I'm going to take these Post-it notes and I'm just going to be like, for Kayla. Ending. I'll do it.
Yes. Kind of weird for this to only be a duology based on what is even happening anymore. I can't read apparently. So what is my brain? So what even is the point of the whole first book? What do you guys think? What was the point of this?
Maybe it is going to be more than 2.
I don't think so.
Not going to lie. If there's a third book and it's green, I'm going to be tempted to just own it.
Because the second book is blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like me and green, I need it. Okay, is there any other like positive things anyone would like to say, or just like any other thoughts that were really at the top of your head when you were reading this that you wanted to discuss?
The author is nice.
Yes, and like I said, I would try her again, just maybe not this series.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a debut.
I liked how much research she put into this series. I know it doesn't seem like it from the bashing, but she did a lot of research into female magicians in real life, and she shared research. I have the number 12.7, but that's probably so wrong. I don't know if I still have the information, but it was something like a very low number of people are even female magicians in the real world. And so she wanted to kind of make a world where that could be seen. And I thought that was really cool. I think that I totally lost my train of thought. I was just looking at the one. Yes, the cover. I think the cover is gorgeous. And I have high hopes that if she does another series, I did confirm this is a duology. If she does another one, I have high hopes that it'll be better.
So I feel like we did bash this a lot, but I feel like realistically it's easier for some things to be able to say all the bad things if you have strong opinions on the bad things. So I enjoyed it a lot when I could pay attention, because a lot of the beginning, like probably the first 100 pages, I just could not keep my attention on it. But when I got into it, I kept wanting to see where it was going. Yeah. So the idea of it, like me being intrigued to see where it was going, was nice, even though it did fall flat where it went.
And I will say, I guess I went into this thinking it was something different, because I was thinking the powers would be more like elemental magic, kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
And so when they talked about like her having fire I thought that was going to be more like pyrokinesis, and I'm not
Right,
really
it was more like
into it.
tricks.
And that's not something that I'm into. So I think I'm just not the target
Right.
audience. I wouldn't go
Right.
to a public show.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't have anything else to say about this one.
Bailey's like, I want to be done with this book. I want to throw it away.
No, it wasn't. Like, I read it twice. It was fine. I'm having a good time.
I am excited to go and read the other 2 books. So I'm mostly just happy that I finished this book more than about the book itself.
The book I was like trying to like read at the same time is very different. And so I would be like, oh, well, if I read 50 pages of Where Dreams Ascend, I can go on my iPad and fall asleep reading this other book because I'm reading Christina Lauren's new book.
Ooh.
And
So
I'm
your reward was the other book?
Yes. And
I
so
did the
that's
exact same
horrible.
thing.
So now I'm finished with this. I can finish this other book.
This
Good
one will
deal.
be good.
Oh, yeah. We talked about, was that before we went live? That most of us finished this just today.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
I think all 3 of us finished it today.
And then
I finished
everybody in
it
the
for the second
comments
time
is
today.
like, everybody in the comments is like, probably like, I finished it last week when we were supposed to
2
go
weeks
live.
ago when we were supposed to have the live, yeah.
I'm like, I was on
Okay,
page
well-
100 when we were supposed to go live last
When we were supposed to.
It was
yeah.
like midnight when we were DMing last night. Like, hey, are we gonna finish this?
I'm proud of you guys.
We didn't want to let you down.
whole 2 days ago. That's a winner.
Wow.
We're
Nicoletta
the
gets
losers.
cookie.
Okay, Bailey.
All right.
If
Well,
we're done talking
for the book club, we are going to take the month of June off, and then in July we will be on Sage's channel, and we are reading When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. And my understanding of this is it's basically like a best friend breakup YA contemporary story. So I'm really excited about this one, and I do hope, like Stasia said, that this will break my 2-star streak for book club books. So that's what's up next. And then after that, we're reading The Lost Causes in August, and then we're reading Hamnet in September. So that's what's coming up next.
I'm very excited for all of them, but for some reason, I'm the most excited for Hamnet. But I'm very excited for everything.
I'm intrigued by Hamnet. Even I don't know much about Shakespeare, but that one, I have high hopes.
I hated the.
I'm excited for this one too.
Stasia, I just watched your haul video from December when you got that book, and I just added that to my TBR list yesterday.
This
So I'm
one?
like, oh.
This
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Yeehaw,
Nice.
man!
Yeehaw! Ruby is the one who's hosting for Hamnet.
Oh, Ruby, do you have a YouTube channel, or am I?
That's slick. I just
She does.
subscribed to you, Kayla, so I was like, oh no.
I gotta go. Bye, Ashley. Removed. Ruby, can you link your channel for me? I mean, I could go look myself, but
Like it's the Ruby Huber that comes up here if you search her too.
Okay.
That's so much work.
Yes, Ashley. I'm
All
excited
right,
for
well,
this.
shall we all go continue different books?
Yes.
Okay.
We're all just gonna move to our couches and read something. Ooh, what is that?
It's
Oh,
about the
woman.
20s and the 2010s. It's like a murder mystery. I like it.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Was
did
that
you put that
a
on
book of the
the?
month?
What is it?
Is it a book of the month?
No, it's it was an arc, but it came out in April.
I feel like I just saw that somewhere today, and I was looking at the book of the month website. Maybe that's why I think
It could be
was
on.
thinking that.
Totally could.
I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
I have no idea. I could rate it 2 stars or 4 at this point. So
Now for this book to be erased from my brain. LMAO, thank you. Okay.
be careful. Horrible. Oh my god.
Okay. Well,
All right.
I had a
Good
time.
chat.
Yes.
I did too.
I hope next time we have a better talk.
It was a
more-
good talk.
No, it was a good talk. I mean, like more enjoyment in our talk.
Positive, higher average rating.
Yes.
I will spend June
Okay.
reading the books that I didn't read from
Catching up.
last month. And
I told you don't have to read In the Woods.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it.
Hey.
I'm gonna tell
I
you
read half of
thoughts
it.
on every chapter, Bailey. I'm gonna be like, here's what I thought on half
Okay.
of chapter
I
one.
hope you love. Like, I really hope you love it.
I'm gonna give it like 1 or 5 stars, no in between.
Well, Martine's who talked about that one with me, and that was basically our ratings. Was like, I was like, I didn't like this, and she's like, it was so good.
Oh no.
Like, what?
Ashley, don't read it.
No, you don't have to do it.
It's a trap. Don't read it.
Like, we're peer pressuring you the opposite way.
This is so strange. I'm gonna go read this.
Okay, well, thanks to everybody for watching and
Thank you
joining.
for happiness.
Yes.
I will see everybody.
Bye, friends.